Have you communicated with a social media user who goes by the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY?
I've had several phone calls with the person who goes by the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I don't actually know his real name.
Unfortunately, every time I make a call, it becomes content for them.
Help! I've been tossed overboard.
I'll have to bill you extra for my time.
Welcome to the show. You look incredible, like a dessert that owns a yacht.
That's exactly the vibe I was going for. You know, sweet but slightly out of your tax bracket.
Mission accomplished. How does one even shop for a suit when your head is...
Gold on my neck, gold on my hand, purple with the stripes, that's the walk of a man. Sidewalk shining, city lights humming, every step I take, they know a boss.
Blazing the whip, gotta vanquish the needs. My kingdom for some poppy seeds. Yo.
Is that a poppy seed? You realize I'm your P.O., right? Straight to booking!
That's some good chicken skin. Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yeah!
Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
You know what? I talk to your mayor.
Yo, 100K gone. You thought it stayed quiet, huh?
2G in the chat like.
Yeah. You flash fake racks on the timeline. Captain said check it with grind time. 100 bands raised, 100 bands off. You the touch to the halo with a cross. 56K from an angel in the comments. Heart full of faith, you turn to the prophet. Screenshot saved, every promise, every pledge. Bank statement singing when you tweeting off the edge. You ain't built for the smoke, you invited. Try to play God, now the numbers indicted. Seems like razors cut through the myth. Whole squad looking like an organized grift. 56K from a donut thief. 100K gone, it's a stolen dream. Gotta stay dark, but the neck got teeth. Now you mean, and you clip, and you caught on stream.
That umbrella guy call it out on screen. Yeah, we see you, we see you.
You prayed on the pain, turned trauma to a token. Each side story just a tool you were holding. Help the cause, every line pre-written, but the cause was your closet in the car you sitting in. You love weak links, hunt them in the thread. Baby, I care while you strip their bread. 56K from one, that's a life and ash. Your bar drip, that by time they'll never get back.
That means get your face with a clown crown clips on repeat when the lies all fall down. Took a G on the mic, every chart, every slide broke down a breakdown, let the numbers collide.
You can't hide from the playback, you can't scrub with the chat track. Every blast you turn backhand, every trust me now backfire.
You ain't a boss, you a book, mark. Held on the page where the fraud start. Whole damn mark in a thread in the chart, history written in the sidebar remarks. 56K from a donut thief. 100K gone, it's a stolen dream. Gotta stay dark, but the neck got teeth. Now you mean, and you clip, now you call card on stream. 56K from a donor. 56K from a donor. 56K from a donor. 56K from a donor.
All right, folks, what's up today? Welcome to a Friday edition of The Stupid That Never Ends. You know what's amazing too? the amazement is apparently now we're hearing we're hearing stuff in court. We're also hearing wonderful things about how donor who gave money, a new one, actually is a liar today. That's right. We heard that. Kyle, if you're out there, yeah, you got called a liar today. You didn't give money after all, apparently, by them. I'm not calling you a liar, by the way. In fact, I can show where you did give. But, yeah, you were called a liar in the stream. So, amazing stuff, man. And, of course, the lawsuits are coming. The lawsuits are coming. Oh my God. Guess what we're going to get sued over, by the way. Guess what I should be on the lookout for that is coming. Can you guess what I'm going to be sued over today, folks? I'm going to get sued over Loofamobile. That's right. Why? Because they claim that their degeneracy mobile is a parody. And when I say it's not only perceived as a degeneracy mobile, but that kind of thing drives down property value. Yeah, apparently that's defamation according to them. And we're all going to get sued. Well, myself and Megan, we're going to get sued. In fact, we better be on the lookout. And that will be an interesting one, considering that is the dumbest thing ever. You know, if parody doesn't land, you know what it looks like? Degeneracy. And I do not believe that they were running a parody. I believe they were running degeneracy. Why? Because they have a peen factory in their garage. We'll talk about that today, too. But yes, we have new filings. Well, we have Preston saying, please give me some more time, you know, which is been the case in everything they've done, by the way. Every single thing they've done. But this one's interesting because, again, remember, with the bankruptcy, they're playing a high-stakes game of if they screw up, everything goes bye-bye. And it may go bye-bye no matter what they do. I mean, honestly, you may be talking about somebody popping up in your jail. You may be... and exactly, Bunsen. I cannot leave this story. Give me a second. I need a can opener, damn it. I left my can opener somewhere. Damnation. There it is. All right. I had a Coke today. I've not drank a Coke. You know, I haven't been drinking that many Cokes or anything. So I'm going to pop my Coke open today. Bam. Oh, yeah. There we go. Have one for tonight. A little bit of caffeination. Oh, I forgot to put my banner up too. Let me put my sexy banner up too. Look at this. Oh yeah, look at that sponsor banner. Ooh, baby, that's right. Plus all the links and everything. Appreciate you guys too. But yeah, so check this out. I think we should let's start with documentation today. I think that one would, we skipped actually. We forgot to hit a few documents that have been attached to the bankruptcy. This isn't the only one. This is one of them. And there's another interesting thing that's attached to this too. There's a lot of pages that come after. This is about a 2-page filing. But the really interesting part is seeing that they have added on BBB and 2L. That's right. Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Again, anybody that orders something, let me know. I really am curious about how you will feel about that. Because I am feeling pretty good. And I'm in a good mood today. Holy crap, I'm in a great mood today. So give me a second. I'm pulling up this document here. I'm zooming it in for you. This, like I said, this is a bankruptcy document. This bankruptcy document, it was filed. Hey, what's up? You're entertained? Yes, I am too. Love you folks, by the way, all of you. Hope, like I said, hope you've had a great one. Fridays are crazy days. They're always, there are some strange streaming days. But here, let me pull this. Hey, there's already 1,400 of you Fridays. That's good, man. Friday is the worst streaming day, I think. The time switch on Sunday is weird and builds slowly. But Friday is the worst streaming day there is possible. So, for all of you, you folks that show up, man, getting over 1K people on a Friday is amazing because that's when everybody streams. So that's appreciated too. But check this out. So everybody playing along at home here, this is document 117. Now, this will not be the only document we will be looking at. We will also be looking at these wonderful things. I think they call them subpoenas that we forgot to look at too, as well as some other items that go with this. But you'll notice on this is a request for more time. Now, you know what the really interesting thing about this request for more time is? This request for more time didn't come in even a remotely timely fashion. This request for time came the same day that items were due, which is absolutely crazy. Again, Preston and her lawyers keep doing this. They do it all the time. But the bankruptcy, I mean, of all things, screwing around with the bankruptcy is probably the dumbest thing you can do. You can play around. First of all, they've been empowered by people like Belitho to think that they can do anything. And the bankruptcy, they can get tired of this stuff. And I saw something, by the way, in some of Tina's notes that was kind of interesting. So as far as the bankruptcy, the one that they seem to tell everybody that they feel really good about and everything. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they keep saying, oh yeah, it was a smart move and all of that. Well, apparently they didn't always feel that way. In fact, according to Lynette, I found the conversation with it, she talks about how the bankruptcy, she wanted to drop it and she wasn't allowed to. That's her statement. Again, it was just like matter-of-factly put into the notation. So I thought that was kind of interesting that Lynette Preston herself apparently said, hey, we wanted out of this thing, but we got locked in. So when they're telling you that this is what Lynette wanted, yeah, apparently not. When she found out that her stuff was at risk, that she might lose everything, she kind of had a change of heart. She no longer, and I understand that, man. I don't think she, from talking to her and some of the stuff that she said, I don't think she really grasped the game, the stake she was playing at. Because again, the bankruptcy, she thought it would erase everything, right? And first of all, that's not really, again, malice, that's not really what happens, but she didn't think she could lose anything. She was very assured, according to her, that nothing was at risk. So I think that's interesting. In fact, I really do think that if she's kept recordings of people saying things like that to her as lawyers, that she very well could have a case against some folks, for, well, again, lawyers, there are many different ways a lawyer can screw up. Many different ways. And I actually... I think some of the promises that it sounds like she was made, some of the things that she said through that, man, if she has any proof of some of that, whoa, my God. And actually, I could believe that, that she had been promised certain outcomes, because there are certain people out there that they really have, you remember how hyped they made the whole bankruptcy thing to begin with. You remember how much they hyped it up and they talked about how great it was, how there was no way that things could go wrong. I mean, you remember all that, right? Because I sure as shit do. Because we talked about that and talked about how wrong it could go. I think I'm going to have a raider in a second. I hear her coming. So we haven't started up yet. So let me. Hey, I hear you. Yes, I hear you. Yeah. I heard you. I heard you sneaking. Yeah, I heard you sneaking. I heard it. I heard you. You rubbed your butt a little bit too much on the steps. Oh, well, you're pretty good there. You know. You are. You're leaning. You know. Oh, that's just kind of funny. I heard you bumping.
I usually slide like my feet go down and then it slides me down.
Yeah.
I do it for all the stairs.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's okay. You're still pretty slick. I have to give you that, you know. But anyway, hey, come here. Come here, give me a hug. You got to go back up. I got to keep going with this stuff. I got to cover.
Hey, like these yellow hearts for me.
Yeah, I see the hearts. All right. Hey, go upstairs, though. Hey.
Can I have popcorn?
Say what?
Yeah.
If Sissy will make you some, yeah. Tell Sissy. Actually, tell her I said to make you some, okay? All right. And close my door. All right. Love you, baby. Bye. Okay, so for this, again, now look at the dates on it. Okay, remember, this is a very important thing with all of this. Look at the date. You notice the date is 4/30. Again, you would think if you wanted to do something correctly, you would be filing something, right? That, I don't know, it would be timely. That, like, timely makes sense, yeah? But, oh, okay. So what does this say here? So come now, the debtor, that would be LMNOP, by and through undersigned counsel, pursuant to applicable rules, moves to this court for an extension of time to respond to written discovery, and states that on March 31st, 2026, plaintiff served interrogatories and a request for production upon the debtor defendant. The current deadline to respond is April 30th. Again, look at the day on the document. So they didn't write till the day that it's due. These are the kind of things that piss courts off. You want to make a court mad. You want to get them looking under every rock, because she has done this every single time. And to be honest, I wonder if when they're doing it, it isn't just a want to get maybe, again, something going for them, but rather for them to get it dismissed. I wonder if they hope, if they do enough stupid, if they can actually get the thing kicked. I'd wondered about that. When I saw that, I was like, is that the plan? Are they desperately hoping that they can get the thing kicked out? Because again, why would you gamble to this level? Because make no mistake, this is gambling, and it is high risk, high stakes gambling. Because again, she is gambling with her property. She is gambling with, that money, the money that they keep saying does or doesn't exist, depending on who you talk to. And you already know. So you saw the trustee get irritated by this stuff before too. She actually wrote it in and told them that it irritated her. I mean, again, why would you play this game? What would make you think that this would be a smart thing to do? Ugh. There we go. I like that super chat, by the way. Yes. If there's going to be a lawsuit, I will only accept service if the service comes from Loofamobile. Oh my God. Could you imagine them delivering a lawsuit via Loofamobile? Oh, Lord. Hey, by the way, I want to thank you all for one other thing real quick. Okay. We are trying to show Rumble that entertainment should be one of those things that they focus on. And when Megan and I, when we go over to Rumble, we want them to see that, that entertainment is viable, because they've always been known as a political platform. But we need more than that. We need viability with entertainment. They have some entertainment, but a lot of stuff is political in nature. And there need to be apolitical, shows that, regardless of your thoughts on that stuff, there need to be things where we can bridge that divide. And you guys have been proving that big time. So I want to shout that out real quick too, because you realize that when we've been going over there, that on that platform, we have been ranking #1 in entertainment over some massive names. And on top of it, we have also been able to rank in the top 3 to the top 4, depending, every single time we go over there, of the entire platform when streaming. And that is with some political juggernauts. So it proves to these platforms, again, they need to focus on that. And like I said, I appreciate that, because I think that if we're going to ever have viable alternatives, that's how we're going to do it. So thank you all. Appreciate you guys, for real. All right, so let's keep on going with this. Give me 1 second here. All right, so again, you notice, now this is the first thing that pops up with it. Yes, Doug, I am entertained. Indeed, Patrick. Indeed. I too am entertained. So the discovery requests are extensive, and they seek detailed information and documentation regarding, amongst other things, the debtor's homestead claim. Now, what I find interesting about the request about the debtor's homestead claim is this. She's posted items about it. So if they're so hard to gather, how has she been able to post items about it? They're able to post things about not just the homestead claim. What they've been trying to do too is file things in the aftermath after the bankruptcy. And they've tried to delay things that way too. But again, we've seen things pop up either on the 2L show, which means it comes from Preston themselves, or we've seen stuff, again, they talked about everything from permits and on. So they can do it, but they can't do it for the thing. Remember, the bankruptcy it's her move. She wanted this, by the way. She wanted this. What's up, Stacy? Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Well, yeah, you know what? All of you, again, you don't have to chat or anything else. I see you out there. And I appreciate you all. Again, this case is just so crazy. I enjoy it. I cannot stop covering it. It's so wild. And I have material all the way through the weekend. No, I don't need repeat or anything. There's so much stuff for documentation, Preston posts. There's also the filings that came from paint chips, which, again, remember, he and Lynette Preston are fed too. So regardless of, it's funny. I like covering everything. Now, Megan will be like, I don't want to cover those, but I believe in covering almost everything. Sometime, every now and then, there'll be something that you're like, oh, well, whatever. But I think if you're going to get a real feel for that lawsuit, you're going to have to see what Paint Chips is filing. So there's a couple of filings from him that need to be covered this weekend. And like I said, there's so much stuff. There's also, with the 5 years of FOIA, good Lord, there's a lot. There's a lot there. As far as Rumble and carrying over, that's going to be going on for a minute too. All right. So, Shumotes, the debtor's homestead, financial records. Again, financial records should be the first thing that she should bring up. And that should be really easy. All you've got to do to pull financial records is to talk to your bank. You don't have to go digital. If she's had any bank accounts whatsoever, all she has to do is go to the bank account or go to the bank and ask them to pull the records on that account. It may cost her a few bucks, but she's the one that wanted to file bankruptcy. So that is quite literally what she's supposed to be doing. It's not on anybody else to go and to pull these things. But financial records on those, on any of the GoFundMe's, anything else that she's ran through time, like those things, she's supposed to, again, this is her filing. So to say, remember, she brought this against people where she's wanting to write off small fortunes in items. And for her to want to do that, of course she needs that. So prior residence, how hard is it to focus? That'll be an interesting question too. I wonder with the prior residence items, if they don't want to talk about everything that's there. Remember when they filed, when she filed the protective order, she actually did not want to go over her prior residence. That was one of the things she said. It's because Jeremy Hales, but it's because I think it'll answer some more questions too. I think if you have some lockdowns on places and them in honesty, there seems to be a disconnect there sometimes. So let's see. In property related activities, what does that mean? Does that mean 501c3? Is that what they're talking about? Because I'm sure that is. When you look at some of the requests that have happened lately, they're asking about the money. What it really is a question of funding and a question of whether or not that she did things correctly. And she's already stated that she was not running her 501c3 correctly. Now, she blamed that on Jeremy Hales and said that Jeremy Hales was the reason for somehow, don't file your tax records correctly. Blame Jeremy Hales. Craziness. Jeremy Hales, by the way, he hasn't talked about, I haven't seen him make a statement about these people in a week now. I personally think, again, he stated this, by the way, before. So I personally think this is what he's doing. Personally think that he was like, look, I got to focus on my business. These people, they've done their damage. I'll meet them in court. We'll do our thing, but no more for them. There are plenty of other people that talk about this case. Let these people talk about it and let him, build his business. And I would agree with that. It'll help him in the long term, probably with the algorithm. I think every now and then you could see something discussed if there's a court hearing, perhaps. But it looks like he's going back to doing that. And that's, like I said, that's fine. But these people he has a protective order against, they haven't stopped. They're still talking about him. Still now. They've been talking about everything. Oh, my God. John, by the way, as weird as he is, look, it's like check this out. And we'll go back to that in just a second. As weird as he is, he asks creepy shit like this. He's obsessed with Tina, by the way. Obsessed with her. When they were talking about loofahs and stuff, he was like, if bad Tina moves into the villages, what color would her loofah be? Oh, my gross. Oh, my gross. That's very nasty. My Lord. what color will her loofah be indeed? Remember, again, if you don't know, for some reason, if there's brand new people out there and they don't know what the loofah thing over, it is, let's just say adult coated, and it's pretty gross. I heard the door coming open. I was like, no, that ain't happening. We're having a loofah conversation. We're not having that conversation. But I mean, gross, man. Gross. Sorry, Tina. Sorry. These people are so obsessed with you. All right, let's continue with that document, by the way. That's just so nasty. I mean, imagine John Cook, like, asking, ugh. He talks about, if he's not talking about dudes' butts in their other areas, he's talking about prostiddles, I'm going to say. Oh, my God. Anyway, so the debtor defendant requires additional time to gather and review responsive documents and to assure that responses are complete, accurate, and verified under oath. Oh, you mean she can't keep up with what she said under oath? That's what that sounds like, doesn't it? It sounds like, well, I need to go back and to make sure that the documents that we've written up, they match up with all this stuff. You know why? Because when she talks, she has a bunch of no times. You know what I mean? It's like, if I were her lawyer, I would call them that. I'd be like, no, that's a no time. She has plenty of those. I mean, seriously, if you were her lawyer, my Lord. And it doesn't matter if you're a terrible lawyer, a good lawyer, none of that matters. What matters is that she makes an absolute trash fire out of it. So they got to make sure that they're complete. Now, they had a big mess about that, by the way, when they did that at the beginning. Remember, when they have filed things, they have continued to leave items off. You know, they say that they've listed everything, but again, they don't list rings. They don't list all kinds of items. They're listed very incorrectly. So, oh my God. Tina messaged me. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Yeah, Tina, I hope you enjoy those. Those are the kind of that keep you up all night. You're like, I feel super. So this is the debtor's first request for an extension as to the discovery request. You notice we have to have a caveat there. Well, yeah, this is her first. Well, for this stuff it is. Why? Because she's asking for an extension for everything. And again, the real problem to this isn't asking for an extension. It's that they do it on the day that things are due. What now? You know what I mean? Like how insane is this? Every court, we see this. Everything that they've brought. They can't follow directions. Again, Fed 1, John Cook has filed 5 items since the judge is like, nope. Oh, my Lord. Freaking thumbnail case. Look how they handled that. Absolute disaster. Trespass 5. Absolute disaster. Fed 2 is parked right now. She's still in it. So she and paint chips, she's not doing anything with Fed 2 there. And then you got this. This has been an absolute disaster. Remember, this is bankruptcy try 2, by the way. Bankruptcy try 1 went down in flames. Why? Because they weren't doing the things that they were supposed to. Now, granting a brief extension will not prejudice the movement, as no depositions or dispositive motion deadlines will be impacted. Please, Your Honor, give us more time. I mean, it's a dangerous game, for real. Imagine how annoyed a person gets after a bit of time. What if they said no? What if they were like, hell no, you get no more time? Then what would happen? And they can say that. They can say no. We're not giving you We're not giving you any time. Oh, by the way, I want to note this real quick. Give me a second and grab something. I'm reaching down here to grab something. If I sound distant, I'm sorry. I noticed some of you folks watch 2L. You know, you go over there, tell her to freaking fix that microphone. It is bad lately. It is bad. People will send me clips, and it's either the microphone is there are three things that could really be happening. Either the microphone is way out of adjustment, which possible, but more than likely there's either a cord that is touching something electronic and it's giving feedback into the microphone, or one of the microphone cords is giving out. It sounds awful though. Please tell them to fix that damn thing. If I have to listen to another freaking clip where people send me and it's like oh Lord, it's terrible. Terrible. Okay, anyway. All right, let me get another page here. Give me a second. Gonna pull. I'm making sure they're redacted every time I pull up another page. That's why it takes me. So now the motion itself will be 2-page, but there's more interesting stuff than this. So if you're like, just 2-page, no. And we have other documents, like I said, too, that we need to go over. But this has more interesting stuff than just asking for an extension here. So they say the undersigned counsel confirmed with opposing counsel who indicated he is unable to consent to the requested extension. So the the opposing counsel was like, no, I'm unable. You know, again, they didn't ask for it in a timely fashion. This is the same thing that Lynette pulled that got her in trouble with the thumbnail case. And you know, it's the same people. So she blamed, all right, this is another interesting little tidbit here too. She said that the same lawyers that are advising her right now, they're the ones that advised her to put in things at the very last second. That's right. Saran Wrap, Ram Saran, she threw you under the bus and said you're the one that told her that when filings come up, they're not doing anything until the last second. And she also said you're a lazy, excuse my words, but you're a lazy piece of crap, and that you don't do any work. She ends up doing it all. I bet that's fun to have as a client. Maybe it's true. I don't know. But I would definitely not appreciate that. But they were like, no, we can't. We are unable to consent to that. AKA, no, thank you. We do not agree with giving an extension. Why? Because they keep wasting time. Remember, this is going to play out for months too, by the way. So any of you that think, man, this is going to end sometime soon. Oh, no. They won't even have any of the homesteading stuff looked up until September. The way things are going now. So you're talking about delays on every case. Well, you could be talking about all the way through the year. And on top of that, anything involving her. Now, other stuff, I am interested in how Fed 2 will proceed now that there are 2 parties involved. We'll see what, a judge says about that kind of stuff, because we saw what happened with Fed 1 with 2 parties, how exactly that will or won't proceed. If it'll freeze everything. But they say, this, of course, good faith. We're not trying to delay everything, even though they've done it every single time. We're not trying to delay stuff, Your Honor. We just do it with every single thing that we do. It's like, yeah, I got a bridge to sell you to, right? Wherefore, the debtor respectfully requests that this court enter an order extending the deadline to respond to the interrogatories and the request for production by 20 days. So they're like, hey, you need to give us the majority of a month. Hey, by the way, that shoots right over my birthday. My birthday comes up on the 15th. So they're like, let's overshoot that by 5 days. That's crazy business, man. That's absolutely freaking crazy business. We want 20 more days. Now, on top of this, when you start looking through the other things, here's something else that you'll find. When you go through, and this has been served to everybody that's on the list. Now, let's look at all the parties that are on the list that are getting certificates of service, shall we? Because this is where things, typically this would be the boring garbage that we would leave out in most stuff. But as far as this is concerned, oh no, this is where it starts to get really interesting. Why? Well, let's look at a few people that are on here. Now we have 3 pages of these. So again, you have your lawyer class, I'm just going to say lawyer trustee. I'm just calling them the lawyer class. Okay. You have Ram Saran, Bender. You have Dennis Levine. Is that Levine? I believe. Shoshay and the trustee. Okay. Then we get into the manual notice. Oh my. Look at this. We have Brent Granger. We have the Mad Skin. That's right. Brucey Bruce is indeed now on the list. Confirmed. Isn't that something? So, as far as the creditor list, they have added the guy who is supposed to be a free lawyer to the list. The guy that they fired. Now, if he was working on a percentage, then that would actually be something that you could say, okay. But if he's working on a percentage of overall take, they have been lying to the court about it. So how exactly does he become creditor? Are they talking about when they decided to dismiss off of the thumbnail case, perhaps? Is that how they're adding him? We talked about the Fed case. Well, remember the whole idea with the thumbnail case. I mean, it's got him making a percentage, but he wasn't fired and they didn't win. They gave up the ghost. I don't see how that would work. Do you? So how is he a creditor? How do you make the case that this man is a creditor? I know they fired him off of Fed 1. Okay. That would be a piece of it. Again, if he were getting a slice of the pie, if they won and he put all this time and effort in, and then he got kicked to the curb, that would be one thing. But he says he's a free lawyer. So again, how does that work out? We've got some other interesting items too. Let's go through them all. Actually, mods, will you note I have got to grab something. It is right on 8 o'clock. I've got to take a supplement there, and it's not in front of me. It will take me less than a minute to go grab it and come right back. But just tell people I've not left. There's not a technical difficulty. I have to grab this. I have to take it at 8. Apologies for that. Like I say, apology for that. I know I hate dead air. It's a crime. But at the same time, I usually remember all my stuff over here. But I had to refill my bottle. My health has been doing great, by the way. So, like I said, I think that new stuff, for real, I'm not trying to sell you on this. I'm just going to mention this real quick, too. We'll look at the rest of the page. I think with the keto brain stuff, it's been doing really good for me. I have this other issue, too. When I walk too much, I have I forget what they call it, a venular insufficiency. It's in my ankles. Essentially, my ankles inside will pull a bit of blood on them. So it's awful. Like if you do too much. Well, usually it takes me 5 days to recover, and with this right now, my recovery time has been quick because I had that. It popped up 2 days ago and I'm already back at it again. It's all good. Usually I have to stop 5 days. So I don't know. I can't correctly say this is it, but every time I've ever done it, 5 days. Every time, like clockwork. This time, it was within a day and a half. Good to go again. So, anyway. Chase. Continental Finance. Now, again, there's a reason we're going through these. Just a note. I want you to see who all is on this. Okay. So, this will be page 4. Okay. Page 4. Again, all these pages matter. There is a point to this I'm showing you. Cricket. Deanna West. Elephant Shoes. Larry, the Fleesa, the Growth Financial. Wait a minute, Fleesa. Again, you notice we redacted their address out too, so they're good to go. Everybody knows they're in the freaking Villages, so got their address out of there. But Fleesa, wait, the what? Now, why have they added Fleesa Flea, you might be asking? Well, because apparently, according to them, the fence that they put up there, that added value to the property. Therefore, that makes her a credit. I kid you not, that was the argument. Now, do you think, I was giving you a minute for that to settle on you. Now, as far as the fence is concerned, she didn't pay shit. It was donors that paid for it, right? She's not the person who gave them money. Any of the money, if she's given them money in any way, shape, or form, it came from donors, from fundraising. They're going to have a mother of a time trying to, again, Lynette's own words talk about how it came from fundraising. And she was told not to ask questions about money, basically to ensure deniability. Because if they allow questions to be asked, that's where you get into some problems. Yes, I'm using some nose spray too. If I'm like, oh my God, you know what's happened? I'm actually dreading, and there's 2 types. I'm dreading that I have some Vicks Sonic Severe Original Nasal. You remember the old bottles that didn't go tss, tss, the original ones you had to turn up and spray? Oh, God. They're horrible, but I'm going to use one of those. Give me a second. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's terrible, man. It's like inhaling fire. Oh, okay. All right. I'm good. Give me a second. Oh, Lisa Lee. Can you believe that, though? Oh, that's terrible. So you can see the other financial companies, Hales, Cook. I thought Cook was an interesting addition, too. How exactly does Cook fit in as a creditor, by the way? They share finances. How is she going to, they live on the same property. They live as husband and wife, even though they're like, we're divorced and yet. So how exactly can you tune in and say, he's actually a creditor? Again, it looks like they're trying to game people. Like these two, John Cook has been on there for a while now, by the way. But between him and Lisa Lee, that's terrible. Yes, indeed, Andre. Is Felicia trying to fleece the bankruptcy court? Indeed. That's what it sounds like, doesn't it? But you can see again, Cook, George, the bank, and let's see. There are a few things, and I want you to see what's on there. I noticed a couple of things that were missing off there, too. Lynette, you should review and make sure you get everything. Main Financial, PayPal Credit, Randy Shochet, Rex West, Sally Beauty, Service Financial, Shane Willis, DJ Radis, Reese Granger, T-Mobile, Verizon. They're afraid, this right here. It's funny because they talked about DJ Radis and they talked about him being a monster and a harasser and all these different things. But you know what? They brought a lawsuit against him that was an absolute garbage lawsuit. It was garbage to the point. Now, again, they talk about Fed 2, and they're like, yeah, it's a terrible lawsuit. Okay, well, if that's a terrible lawsuit, then that fucking thumbnail, what do you call that? That is a trash fire of a lawsuit. Trespass 5, what was that? So when they talk about like Randy, and they're like, he's a terrible, well, what's that make Bruce then? I mean, holy crap, man. It's so funny to like look at it and be like, well, what does that mean, man? All right. So along with this, we had some documents that we actually forgot to cover. Now, these documents, they were kind of interesting too. We had subpoenas that came up. Subpoenas that, well, let's just look at the subpoenas and what's being noted. All right. There are plenty of pages on these, so we will bring them up one at a time. Okay. So here, this is subpoenaing. What are they pulling up here? Well, notice service of subpoenas to all parties. Please take notice. Pursuant to federal rule of civil procedure. This came up, like I said, in the middle of the month. Too. Okay. Well, actually, not even that long ago. I take that back. I was thinking they came up like the 15th or something, and I was apparently we're about 10 days off of them because I totally forgot about these. There was so much that was happening. I actually spaced them, and that is my bad. I did forget them, but still. So with this, and made applicable by federal bankruptcy rules and federal bankruptcy rule 2004, the undersigned gives notice of its issuance to attach subpoenas to produce documents on PayPal Inc., Gym.com Inc., and Block Inc. Well, that's interesting. Let's see what it says about these, Now, I'm going to skip a page because there's a certificate. There's actually, I take that back. There's 2 certificates. Now, the first, I'm looking at them right in front of me. The certificates are certificates of service, but they're to lawyers, essentially. And then we get into the subpoenas themselves. All right. So let's look at these. Now, the subpoenas, they're interesting because we get dates and everything for when stuff's supposed to happen. And these are supposed to happen pretty soon. They pop up in May. So here you can see, again, this one is for LMNOP, in reference to LMNOP case debtor to PayPal Inc. Now, it's for production. You're commanded to produce at the time, date, place, etc., etc. When they note that, again, that's where you're getting the time and date. Okay, so by a specific date, typically you're talking about a few weeks normally. That's how it goes. And again, we'll get into what they're asking for too, because they're all asking for about the same thing. And you can see again, to the person. So instead of when people read subpoenas, sometimes they think you have to show up somewhere. That's not what was asked. They're asking for the delivery of information, and they'll explain that. So I'll go over one set of them because they're going to be redundant. They're going to ask the same things. There's going to be 3 sets of them. So they want the production by May 13th, which you're talking about right around the corner. They're trying to figure out if there's money in certain accounts out there. Again, you can see that this came up on the 21st. So even though like I said, I thought we missed it by a big amount of days, we only missed it by right in 10 days. And again, the 13th, which, what does that fall on? Give me 1 second, and then we'll look at more pages. One moment. Let me go. I'm checking the calendar here. I can't remember when the day falls on. I wish I had, I know this guy who is so good. That's on a Wednesday. Man, my birthday falls on a Friday this year. That's pretty awesome. My girl. So apparently I saw my oldest daughter making 2 birthday presents, by the way. And she told me it's because she's also making me a present for Mother's Day. That's funny. Now, if you're wondering about what comes up for subpoena wise, when they send you a subpoena, they send you over the rules. And they talk about exactly, what the duties in responding to everything. We're not going to read all this, but I want you to see it at least to know what's here. That way you understand what comes up with it. It's asking for information. And most of the time, there's no reason not to comply with them. Now, as far as the instructions, we will read some instructions just so you, again, understand what they want, because these are going to, they're going to tell us. So the instructions, they're all documents requested herein are to be produced if they're in a possession of, control of, or available or accessible to you and your counsel. When these document requests call for information or a document which was once but is no longer in possession or control of your counsel, instead identify the present location or custodian of the information or document, if known, otherwise its last location or custodian. If an objection is interposed on the basis that a document request is overly broad, that does happen every now and then, but typically with something like this, you're not talking about an overly broad item. Again, they're requesting financial information. That's what you're going to find out here. Set forth all information which is relevant and identify the reason the remaining information request is overly broad. Makes sense. If an objection is interposed on the basis that the document request constitutes an undue burden or expense, set forth all information which may be obtained without undertaking the undue burden or expense, and identify the reason the remaining information requested cannot be obtained without undertaking an undue burden or expense. If any information called for in these document requests are withheld on the basis or claim of privilege. Remember that thing that Brucey Bruce tried to play when he was saying that nobody could ask questions of folks like Shara because how dare you ask those questions? It's privileged information. Fucking clowns. I mean, it's very serious. Sorry. What idiots, man. They kill me with this. The nature of the information on which privilege is claimed shall be set forth together with the type of privilege claimed and a statement of all circumstances under which you will rely to set forth the claim of privilege as required by several rules of procedure. Now they go again in the context. We don't have to read the context again. I love this, though. You know why they do this stuff? Because somebody has pulled this before. So when they tell you, hey, there are plural words here. I always love this, because they're telling you, you got to remember, somebody has always argued this. So they're telling you, like I said, I love this part of the law, because you got to remember every piece that is added under the scope of the law has been added because somebody has gone in and been like, hey, that didn't say that. So they're like, well, every singular word, that includes its plural. Every plural word, that includes its singular. I mean, I love that, and, or you got to look at it certain ways. Anything that says each, every, all, any, well, you have to look at that certain ways. The masculine shall be construed in a generic sense. So, yes, if it uses the masculine, well, that doesn't let you out by saying, well, actually. And again, they go over what documents mean. Documents mean everything. I always love this too. Look, they try to cover everything and they have to say and or. So, and or anything else. Because they're like, well, that means if you wrote it by hand, contracts, agreements, communications, correspondence, telegraphs, telex, that's amazing. Memorandums, notes, summaries, memorandum or phone conversations that you have, personal conversations, statements and witnesses, diaries. That's right. If you wrote it in your diaries, sucker. Love it. Reports, receipts, notebooks, note charts. It's funny because these are the same things that they were given in Fed 1. And you notice they turned over about two things. They turned over my favorite things, Jack and shite. That's what they turned over for Fed 1. Even though, look at everything there. They have all this stuff, microfiche. I haven't seen a place with workable microfiche in years, but it's included too. Again, everything. Okay. Now, they make sure, again, I'm only covering one of these because I want you to see the scope of what they're asking for. Because people, you have to understand that this also, they already played the game with discovery. And in Fed 1, the judge should have hammered the hell out of them for playing around. But of course, well, we know that person. Anyway, they go through yours, correspondence and what it means, the term accounts, what accounts mean, from the different things, what a transaction actually means, what a check actually means. And they're talking about for the debtor, again, they're saying, hey, all of this is in reference to one person. It is LMNOP. Notice, by the way, what's real interesting about this? John Cook is also listed in Fed 1. You remember when they talked about John Cook and they essentially said that John Cook was, remember when Bruce said he was on his own? And I guess there was a falling out at one time. Remember before he started having his new love affair with the Fats, that they essentially said that Lynette Preston was the only one they were going to help. I always wondered if, at first I thought that was abandoning John Cook, but I wonder if that was really abandoning Lynette Preston because their help. I even wonder, I've started wondering this too, okay? You had Bruce who, if you go back, and I don't want to go and review this filing again, but I want you to remember this filing. So if you go back to the filing where Bruce, he talks about, John Cook filed it in Fed 1, but he talks about him thinking that he was off the hook. Remember that document, right? And when he talks about it, he says that so much time had passed that he assumed that everything had been dropped. Now, why has a lot of time passed? It's passed because Lynette Preston dropped him, right? And then they delayed after that with bankruptcy. See, you had the delay because of the hearing, all of that stuff that delayed the case for like a hot second. And then the bankruptcy came up. Now, what if, and again, I'm not saying that this is the reason, but what if the entire reason for the bankruptcy wasn't to help somebody out with their money, but rather was to put that time between them and that hearing, so any type of fine might just drop off the earth, because so much time had elapsed. And they figured that, well, there would be no reason to be bringing it up. What if that was the reason there? Maybe it wasn't at all about helping Preston, because look how badly it's gone. And everybody said that. We were all like, dude, if this goes badly, it's going to go really badly. And the only people that didn't make that clear to Lynette Preston were people that benefit from her being in a bad place. In fact, I kind of think some of those people that are listed as creditors right now, they actually benefit from her being in a bad place. Again, But anyway, so she is the debtor. as it says, when the term debtor is referenced in the positives, blah, 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 So again, this breaks it all down. Why am I showing you this? Because I want you to understand what they're asking for. I mean, it's very much, okay, so what they tell you, whoops, I jumped a page. Give me a second. I have jumped a page. It doesn't matter. All of them are the same. So it doesn't really matter. But what they do in these pages is they show you, oh, I see what it did. Actually, it didn't jump a page. It's where I redacted it. Okay, now the next page, this is where it gets interesting, okay? Because this is where it talks about everything that they actually want from her. This is the scope of production. If any documents are withheld under privilege, blah, 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 they want to know all that. There are the documents. You see this? This is what they want to know. Now, again, remember that they're asking for any place that would happen to have any of this documentation, where you would know about financial records. I mean, that's interesting, isn't it? Now, I mean, I think this is interesting because it shows you what they're asking about. Now, what are they asking about? They're asking about the turtle rescue stuff. They're not just asking about her personal business. They're asking about the thing that she said was not something of concern. Remember that she went on this whole, they don't care about that. That doesn't have anything to do with anything. Well, apparently it does have something to do with something. In fact, if you look at it, they're asking about every damn email that she's ever had. I mean, look at that. So they're talking about with It's a Shell Thing, Inc. So straight up, they're asking about the 501c3. They want to know about money that has been collected there, money that is potentially hiding there. These are some of and what I'm curious about, if there are other names, or some of them I've cut off because I don't want you to know that they're emails or anything. Like I said, I've cut off some of that. So if you're looking at it and you think it looks redundant, it's not a redundancy. It's just the way I made it look. That way, when you look at it, like I said, it doesn't identify it specifically as an email address. Okay, so it asks again, memes mogwise? What? Memes mogwise? So was that one of her old names or addresses that she used? By the way, she's used many other names too. What this is really funny about too? She said that as far as online, she has only ever used 2 names. You remember her talking about that? It's either been, her standing in the truth, and yet when you start looking at this stuff, there's a lot more than just the standing in the poo or true or whatever. There's a lot more than just that out there. You also have, so you have Lynette Preston, with some numbers after it. It's a shell of a day. That's actually kind of funny. I actually thought that was funny. I'll give credit where credit's due. That is a little funny. Instead, I do like that. What's funny is I wonder when that came up. Did that happen after? You remember they were huge Jeremy Hales fans, even though they deny it. When they saw What the Hales, were they like, oh, kind of a What the Hales joke? It's a shell of a day. Huh. Like I said, I'd be very curious about when that came up. I'm not saying it's, inspired by anyone. I'm just saying that's a big coinky dink, isn't it? Seems a little bit of a coinky dink anyway. What do I know though? But they have all the Lynette Preston names. Plus, It's a Shell Thing. They have some of those too. Now again, what they're doing here is she's claimed that a lot of items and a lot of other stuff, they belong to the 501c3. You know, the things that she's not reporting. They're playing a game. And again, it's a dangerous game because if they think that she's hiding assets, you know, while she's claiming bankruptcy, I mean, Lynette, I don't know how to, I think we've tried to give her good advice. I do. I think we tried to give it to her a whole time, whether or not, I mean, she's never taken any of it, but we tried to give it to her. And it's part of that. We've tried to tell her that, that she needs to list everything and talk about it. But instead, she's been selling, she's still selling things too. She's not listing. I don't even understand. Like she doesn't list her personal jewelry. All of that counts. You just get an exclusion for it. See where she's playing I think a stupid game, a very stupid game. Lynette, it's a very stupid game. I don't know how to make it any clearer. It's a very stupid game. Did I mention it's a very stupid? Oh, you get the picture, right? But I mean, she's playing a game that it doesn't just deal with everything that she owns. It could be that other thing, time. She could actually lose not just property, home, she could lose time. And she doesn't. I mean, she's not a spring chicken. Like, and no, I don't mean that negatively. I'm saying that for anybody. All of us, we've got finite time, but you know, when you get up to a certain age, man, you got to value that stuff. And this game she's playing, it could put her away. You could put her away for a minute, you know, and for what? Because this stuff is not going to work for her. You know, so if you go through, let's see, you got these, and there's actually more. So give me a second. I got to go and get back to the other pages too. There's 7 pages every time these come up, just to note. Okay. So there's a bunch of them. Why is there Jim? It's a shell thing. What does that mean, by the way? Jim, J-I-M, it's a shell thing. Jim, it's a shell thing. And so it notes all on top of that. So it wanted everything. Well, give me 1 minute. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I read that correctly. So I told you, okay, for the documents, it noted all documents evidencing accounts. So this was the definition. Actually, let me pull this back up here real quick, and then we'll read the second thing. So they're asking for accounts, like all documents evidencing accounts as broadly defined. Anything they define as account, mind you, titled either jointly or individually by LMNOP. Now, you got to remember something, and this is a big thing that Lynette needs to remember. If you've got anything whatsoever, if you didn't include it in this, say she has an account, but they didn't know about it, well, she was supposed to list it. Now, I wonder too, are they going to go and are they going to subpoena Cook's accounts? Because even though they're quote unquote divorced, that seems to be a game that they play. You know, yeah, sure, we're not together anymore. Okay, sure you aren't. You know, I mean, again, they are definitely partners in quote unquote crime. I'm not saying you're criminals. I'm using that. It's as a statement. I'm not accusing you of anything, but they are. They're partners in everything, right? And I would think they might hide money that way. Again, it would be worth checking out. But they asked, that includes but not limited to the accounts associated with the following usernames, emails, or account holders. Now, let me go grab the other page there. So that was part 1. All right. Let me make sure there's nothing I need to roll off of here. Okay, this is part 2. Now, in part 2, they're like all documents evidencing accounts on which the debtor is a signatory /user or authorized representative or user. So see this right here. If she's used a John Cook account, if she's a signatory on it, if she actually uses it any way whatsoever, if she has any connection to it whatsoever, it's supposed to come up. Yeah, I know. That's actually William. Yeah. Bolitho did note that he knew that the lawsuit, he actually made a comment on the lawsuit. In fact, that right there, that's absolute trash. For him to have done that, period, that's garbage. I agree. You know, what business, what business is that within reference to Fed 1 or Fed 2? You know, you're talking about, oh, I got a kid. Hey, you snuck down through there. I heard you. You were pretty quiet that time. You know?
Did I scare you?
Yeah. Yeah, you scare me a bit. I was like, oh no, what is that thing I hear? Oh no. All right. Hey, go upstairs though, kiddo. I'm going over some. Huh? Of course you can have a hug and a kiss. Be careful, don't run into that.
Hey, Dad. And remember a light, a bathroom light?
Give me a kiss on my cheek.
A bathroom light?
Yeah,
in a bathroom?
Yes.
It won't turn on. When I flicked it up, it won't turn on.
You're talking about in your bathroom? I probably went out. I'll change the bulb after this, okay? I'll see about fixing it after this, okay?
Okay.
All right.
And hello, everyone.
And hello, everyone, by the way.
Have a great day. If you
Yep.
have someone else who stream or dad stream.
Yes, I hope you've enjoyed hearing about how the bathroom lights are not working. Very important
we
information.
went to Murfreesboro on the 4th day, like yesterday.
Well, we did go. Actually, I took you out today too, didn't I? We went to, even though I really don't want to, we went and got McDonald's, right? She's like, let's get McDonald's, please. I was like, oh, do we have to get McDonald's?
I could have got some ice cream.
I don't want McDonald's. McDoodles. Yeah.
It's McDonald's, not McDoodles. It's not McDoodles.
It's not McDoodles? Oh, okay.
It's called McDonald's, not McDoodles.
McDoodles, whatever. McDonald's. I guess you're right. All right. Hey, go upstairs. Okay. I took her to Five Below too. So she got a few odds and ends. I got a balloon. She loves helium filled balloons. Isn't that right?
Yep. I got 3 of them, but
Yeah.
I give my heart balloon for Five Below to Sis.
Yeah. Oh, you gave Sissy your other balloon? That was really nice of you.
I get to hold my heart balloon.
Yeah, well, that's very nice of you.
It's a white heart balloon.
Yeah, that was very nice of you. All right, well, hey, go upstairs. And
Playing Zelda.
I always play Zelda. I'm always playing video games while we're talking on here. Well, yeah, but I'm saying I'm always playing when I'm on live streams, aren't I? When you come in, I'm always playing a game, aren't I? Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
I always play video games while I'm playing. Yep. Well, I mean, that's that's how it should be. It should be fun. All right, but anyway, hey, go upstairs though, so I can keep going with this. Okay, love you. It is 8:30. You've got about an hour, and then you're going to bed. Okay, so you better go have fun. I will tuck you in, but you're gonna have to get in bed soon. So you better go. You better go have fun and watch your show before it's bedtime. I know you're wanting to watch something. Say what? You can get a water. You can have water. You know, water.
And you better put the water flavor in.
No, you can put a water flavor in too if you want one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, go. Love you.
Me too.
Like I don't want water. Water flavors. She cracks me up with that. All right, but anyway, let's continue. She's like water. Yeah, her face was really funny when she was saying that. So when they're talking about this, like I said, when they're noting like a number 2 and Number 3, all of this, they're saying any accounts that she could be attached to whatsoever. That would include the John Cook accounts. If they try to pull some garbage and they don't list John, because again, John Cook, he's being listed as a creditor. Like they are playing this game where they are distinct, not living together. I mean, it's just the way that they try to play this. It seems so deceptive. Now, it'll be interesting to see exactly what they try to claim with John Cook, as far as him being listed as that. But they can't, again, if she has any attachment, all signature cards, new account documents, or similar documents for accounts identified in request 1. Also, all documents evidencing any or all deposits or withdrawals from all accounts. So, if there have been any large amounts of money, I'd be very curious. One of the things, again, we won't have access to all of this stuff, but one of the things I am very curious about is whether or not we are going to get information about some of that money. I mean, there's a lot of money that has gone bye-bye. A lot of it. So, account ledger itemized by amount, date, payer, signor for all activity in accounts for all accounts identified in request 1. That includes, again, remember, request 1, by the way, does not mean, hey, they noted these accounts, I don't have to list anything else. That is not what that means, just to make that very clear. They can't be like, well, I got away with this one because nobody knows about it. No, that's not what that means at all. So I hope they realize that too. If they are trying to, you don't want to try to game the Fed. I feel like that's something that these people would try to do. I mean, I feel like they already do it with a lot of stuff that they do anyway. So, I mean, but hey, what do I know, right? But it notes, again, with each transaction, date and time, amount, currency, sender, recipient, identifiers. She sent some super chats. What's really interesting about that too? So she sent super chats to the ThATs as part of stuff. She did this not too long ago. I wonder what she's been drawing that off of. It's also interesting that somebody that, again, is telling the world that they have nothing is also playing with, quite a bit of something. So they have transaction types, narrative notes, memo fields. So any attachment that she made with it too, like say that I think this is interesting where, if you note 4, that 4 column, like sometimes you send out, like if you send out a super chat and you say, hey, this is for blah, blah, blah. Well, that would be your 4 column. So, again, fees assessed, IP addresses. Now this gets interesting. If there's any geolocation that's attached to it. So if something's coming in, if people have given her money, I wonder what information is attached to it. Like that's something that's kind of, I hope they don't cause people that gave them money problems. We'll see though. I don't know. I wonder how much information gets tracked with all of that. What exactly they're allowed to note. Oh, by the way, in case you missed the stuff yesterday, guess who popped up? And guess who's not right about things too? One Only Me. That's right. Only Me popped up over on Coops, Mr. 56K. He says that deposition for Fed 1 is all done. It's over, which is a lie. Actually, Melissa posted something very good noting that. It was talking about how, specific documents they've been filed. He's wrong. He's like totally wrong. And I understand being wrong. Like some people I get stuff wrong here and there. You know, I mean, that happens. But certain people, they're insufferable. I guess that's the best way. Only Me is insufferable. He is an insufferable a-hole. And it's amazing to me considering how much he's wrong about things. You know, you ever know those people that know everything, but they know nothing? Yeah, I feel like he's one of those. He knows everything, and yet he knows nothing. So, anyway, the internal flag risks, blah, 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 any kind of transaction identifiers, and any related chain parent-child transaction. So, it notes out anything that comes from that, essentially, too. All wire transfers, any money that moved, period, out of any of these. So, I mean, they're looking for, and there's one other set of notations with this too. Anything, I mean, they're talking, like I said, they're talking about everything. An identification of a transferee of funds, like who money's going to. So, if any money moved from an account, where exactly did it go? Now, I think that is, again, I think that's a good question for these people because, you know, here's the thing, though, and I do wonder about the truth of this. You know, Lynette Preston says, though, as far as any money is concerned, she never got any money. Again, now, I always wonder about that because if that's the case, then how the hell did she buy certain things, you know, that were out there? But I guess that's neither here nor there, right? But yeah, so it talks about, again, you know, death beneficiaries, which I don't think, although weirdly enough, so this was very bizarre. I'm just going to note this too. John Cook was bringing up his ex, talking about the idea of death benefits and essentially insulting, you know, the ex that they keep the ashes of in the garage. He was insulting them. And he was talking about how he made more money than them, which I thought was weird because hasn't he been on the government dole forever? But I mean, he was pretty like nasty about it all. It was kind of just wild, you know, looking at it. So, I mean, you got all this. Again, there are all told, let me see. I will post these in locals. Again, if you have not joined up with locals, okay, I've put a free, okay, I'll put up a how-to for some people who, like if you're confused on it. But locals, you go over to ThATuMBRELLAgUY.locals.com. The whole point in having that thing, people can communicate, they can do whatever there, but the biggest point is to put information in there where it cannot be deleted. Because there was a wave of Facebook page bannings. Plus, not only that, right now, information is being spread around. I'm going to say there have to be at least 13 or 14 Facebook groups, which I'm not saying they serve a purpose too. You can go enjoy those, do whatever you want, but any information should be saved, like any evidence. We don't want it disappearing. And it did at one time. So you remember that big group that sat around for a long time. People called it the What the Hales, quote unquote, fan page. Well, that fan page had all the information out there. Like everything attached to it. And when it got frozen, it is still there, but one day it may go bye-bye. That means years of information just bam, gone. So anything that's there, people need to grab it, salvage it, take it somewhere where it's safe. Okay. Place like locals will do that. On top of it, after that was frozen, there were a bunch of groups that were created. A lot of information was doled out. And then after that information was doled out, most of them got banned. Just bam, they were gone. Now, there are other groups now, and you can enjoy them, but Facebook they'll ban you over whatever, right? Well, locals won't get banned. It doesn't get banned. The people who post evidence, you have all of the huge posters that are over there. They're posting it. You know, you have people like Mark. I'm going to give shout outs here. Mark has been posting his stuff so it doesn't disappear, which is great. Melissa posting stuff over there so it doesn't disappear, which is, again, is great. Allison posting all of the chat logs and stuff that are there so they don't disappear, which again is great. You have iWatch so you don't have to, that's posting over there. And again, all of that is good. Like, for example, let me show you some stuff. Let me show you what this looks like, okay? I want you to see this, all right? Give me a minute. Gotta put my headphones back on. I took them off for a second. So when you go in and you look, now your view may be a little bit different than mine. I don't really know. But I'll put up little videos and stuff too, goofing off. But check this out. Here's the way that it goes in. You know, like I put up a video, like goofing off, talking here. We get postings for, of course, if something's coming up. But you can see, like Mark, he's putting up when they're talking about their lawsuit and whatever, you know, that he's clipped out, which he'll find the stuff in the transcripts that are sometimes they're amazing. You wouldn't believe they're there. Then with Allison, look, she's going through there. So you don't have to do this, which is amazing. She goes through their chats, picks up everything for it. Again, I want to give these people like shout outs because they do hard work. And some of this stuff went the way of the dodo bird. It got erased the last time. So we're getting a log of all of this in here. Now we'll get better at keywording and stuff, but we're putting up whatever. And I liked this. So there was a discussion last night about, I guess it was, what was it? Marcus or Marcus? I can't remember. But essentially there was a story that Squat Pump, that would be the neighbor of 2L. She had ran over a lover. That's right. Now, if you heard the story of this, it's it's like, wait a minute, ran over somebody. What? Well, not somebody. More like a very, very big, let's just say, adult friend type. That's right. So let me read this to you. So the legend of, my sources tell me that the true legend of, again, Marcus, I'm going to say Marcus, the newest short-lived superstar to grace our studio, the garage studio. Evidently, Marcus was a generous gift from Pawnee Squat's uncle. You know, the one who lives right next door to the village, quote unquote, creeper, her on again, off again boyfriend. Nothing says family love like your uncle handing you a random, a big adult toy, a big black adult toy, let's say, okay? Apparently the gift wasn't properly appreciated. So Squatty Pump, in her infinite wisdom and grace, decided that the most logical next step was to run that poor little love present over with the Loofamobile right there in Fleece's driveway. That's right. They ran it down. R.I.P. R.I.P. indeed. You barely had time to exist before becoming a speed bump. I mean, isn't that a bizarre thing? So you get to find out about all this weird stuff too. And again, if you go and join up right now, there is a month trial. When you go and you sign up, there's a code right in the payment area. It says that you can put a promotional code in. You just type in all caps, type this in, COOKED. Yes, right. We've been cooked, baby. We've been cooked like John Cook. Come over there, goof off. We'll have fun and we can preserve everything together. I think that is one of the most, I'm so annoyed that we lost all of that stuff. That was, God, I think there were 6 months of stuff when the hits happened. And instead of freezing these places, it actually took them out. Now, the other part that I want to talk about today is this part where they call a guy who gave hundreds of dollars, they call him an out-and-out liar. That's right. Oh, man, give me 1 second. There is a a cord loose. I'm going to have to fix it. I'm going to mute. It's going to take this will take less than a minute too, but there's a cord loose and it's going to start making static popping sounds. Give me a second. All right. Did that mess with the sound any at all? I think we should still sound okay. Let me know if there's any weird sound popping or anything like that. Everything should be good, though. I think that's what the 2 L's, again, they may have been having a problem with. I moved a bunch of my, I moved the tower and everything. So I noticed that one of my sound cords was starting to pop out. And I had to go over and fix it. All right. So this guy here. Again, nothing negative about this person. If you have not heard about this guy's being called a liar now. That's right. Never gave that $199. You know how, let me pull up where this is noted too. You can actually see this being noted. And this will all become clear as in a why in just a moment. But this was all noted for today. You can see it in the transcript. So check this out. Yeah. It also, it's so clear, even AI picked up the meaning for it. You can see them, in mocking critics and summaries. They were talking about squat pump money lies. Kyle claimed a $199 donation that never happened. You saw that, right? They're saying that the donor is a liar. So the person, this has gotten insane because you can see now the original donation, all of the evidence is there. There's discussions about it in the chats. There is evidence that it actually, like a second donation, went in. So what happened with this, you might be asking, where they're calling him a liar. Well, if you've been keeping up with this, which again, this is just, it's petty and it's gross is what it is. I think, again, it's yet another person that money is being taken, that a person is given money and yet it's being, let's just say it's being ghosted. So you can see the discussions start to come up with this. If you're curious about it, you can see it come up. Well, what was it? A couple of days ago? I'd have to look up the exact day where it comes up, where there was a discussion about, I sent you 100 Venmo for your birthday, girl. And this is actually in the chat. Somebody went back. They got it. This wasn't the only donation that was made, by the way. But this is actually being said in the chat. So when it comes up, let me see. I had to find it real fast. I just thought it was crazy. Again, to call the person that sent it a liar too. Lord. I mean, there was a bunch of money that was brought up for squat pump. Not just this person, by the way, but give me a second. You can see the discussion over it. Actually, I'm going to bring up all of the statements. I think you can actually see they're out of order, okay? But I'm going to bring these up so you can see again. Now, what does this matter? Well, because it's yet another thing where money was brought up. You can see them discussing it. Kyle bringing it up through here, saying when they're bringing it up, making sure that they understand that it was through coffee. Lisa, look, it was a Venmo. I said for birthday girl, give her $100. And it was during a stream. So you can see that I sent you $100 Venmo. It wasn't Venmo. It ended up being coffee for the birthday girl, and during that time where all of that's happening, it's yet another issue where you have a bunch of people that were giving money to her. So it wasn't just this one person just to say that. Well, guess what? That person's a liar, apparently. They're absolutely a liar, like I said. And I'm not calling them a liar. That's what we're being told now. So you see this brought up in the transcript here. You can look up that day. And there's a lot of discussion about it. There's like, he spent $100 for squat. And they're like, hey, I looked it up. I'm looking it up. Oh, yeah, well, for Venmo, he gets the wrong place at first. So they're like, oh, it was on coffee. Okay, it's for coffee there. All right. Well, then after this is brought up, again, you have all of this happening. Again, all of this money is being brought in for squat. And that's their name, by the way, that they gave her, squat pump. Well, apparently he had typoed and he had put in a, hey, that's weird. I have never seen a happy Mother's Day. I've never seen that. That is very interesting. Thank you, Selena. I've never seen like the Mother's Day thing put a giant heart on my screen. So I was like, what is that? It threw me for just a second. But that's interesting. I like it. That was lovely. I didn't know what that was for a second there. But they bring it up again, and it said on the coffee donation apparently that it was for the squad instead of squat. There's a typo in it. So this person sends more money. Well, they were in the chat the other night and they said, actually, it wasn't $100. It's $199. And today, Lisa came out and said that person is a liar. They never gave that amount of money. It's a lie. Now, again, this is the same thing we've seen happen with other folks. Hey, let me pull up the... Good Lord. Look at this. Check this out here. One second. I want to get this on the right place. So check this out. So now, did you hear the talk about, Kyle squat pump and money, which is funny considering, the lies. It's all lies. It's all lies. By the way, we're definitely going to be sued too. Why? Because check this out. This is where the whole thing, he literally lies. I got him on defamation so bad, especially Rumble with Megan, because I guess he thinks he can get away with it over there. What he doesn't realize, there's a lawsuit coming, and Tug just freaking associated himself with that actual lawsuit. Why? Because of the Loofamobile. What it is. You have a degeneracy mobile. It has a shopping list on the back that talks about different adult things that rides around everywhere, by the way. And the same laws that protect your ability to ride around in a degeneracy mobile, the same rights actually have more right to talk about your degeneracy mobile. You talking about loofah parties and more, by the way? Gross. Absolutely gross. Hey, look at that. Another happy Mother's Day. That's awesome. Those are cute. I've never seen those. Those are cool as heck. Oh, my girl, like I said, the girls, when I mentioned like the girls with Mother's Day too, I take care of the girls totally. My girls, like I do everything for them right now. And I'm not saying that in any negative way. I love doing it. I'm glad that they get looked out for and stuff. So when they're like, hey, we're going to get you something for Mother's Day, I was like, well, that's cute of them, I just thought that was kind of funny for them to throw out there. You're going to do what now? You're going to give me Mother's Day stuff. Okay. If that's what you want to do, kiddos. But, my oldest was making me something, which is kind of a joke, but kind of not, I guess, from her. Just kind of funny, I thought. But anyway, I go through with the, oh my God, Oh man, it's all lies to destroy our reputation. Mofos, you all ghosted a lot of money. And again, I would invite litigation for that. I would invite it because again, I have a major donor. And also, I would be careful. I believe that you may have some litigation of your own coming soon. Just to say, not from me. I'm not suing, but maybe you should watch yourself because you might have your own problems that you don't really know about. I'm curious. They're hoping to keep. See, I don't doubt that they'll try something really stupid. When they do, though, like again, the message that is very clear in all of this stuff is that you hit them for anti-slap. Because anti-slap is the way to go. These people are trying to shut down. I am totally allowed to have an opinion on their freaking ping factory. They're like, it's all comedy. No. And the villages having the damage control off of that stuff, that absolutely is something that destroys property value. All of us are allowed. You have article after article talking about them trying to deflect away from the degeneracy. And they have a freaking degeneracy mobile. Just because you want to say nowadays that it's all satire, that doesn't mean that. And again, you want to talk about reputation. Okay, well, I guess we get to discuss how you denied that Gabe actually, his criminal record. You denied that it's real. You told people when they had concerns about money being raised, that was a lie. Do you think that plays well? I mean, I'm just curious. Do you guys think that would play well in a court too? You mean money that has been taken from people in the past? And again, when the major donor came forward and asked about that, they said that all of that was actually a lie, that he never had a police record at all. He had never been in trouble at all. He'd never been arrested. That was all lies. It was all fabricated. It was all AI. That'll be fun. So bring it, absolutely bring it. But then they go through and they're going and they said they claim Kyle sent $199 for squat pump. Actually, I didn't claim that. Kyle was in the chat and said that. Then you're like, no, actually, he didn't. I can prove what he said. He claimed, well, here's that's what he claimed he sent. Take it how you want. So they're calling Kyle. This guy gives them money. And yet again, through this, they say that that's all a lie. Now, Kyle said it's nothing but money. And I would disagree with that. When somebody comes out and says that I'm an effing liar about something, it becomes a little bit more than money. It becomes about the idea. Again, there's no reason that they should be calling him a liar. I mean, it's damage control again from another donor. God, there would have been so many ways to handle this. One way I would not handle this subject, I said, if it were me, I would not handle it by calling the donor. These people who are still giving them money, liars. Like that is, there are many dumb ways to handle things, and this is probably the dumbest. Again, they could say, well, there was a mix-up or whatever. No, it's a lie. And if you go and you listen to this, it is so clear that they're calling this donor a liar. Even the freaking AI picks up on it, because that's where the transcripts are AI transcripts, all transcripts, even the transcripts that come from YouTube, they're AI transcripts. And if you look at this, that's what it's noting here. Again, it's saying mocking critics and summaries. They're mocking the idea that this guy, he was in the chat talking about it. And they're like, he's a liar. He may have said that he did this, but it's a lie. I mean, like I said, that's awful. That is an awful way to treat the people that are in your chat. They had a guy, again, I think Only Me, again, is an insufferable person. This guy, though, they at first claimed that he had given money. Then they claimed that he was lying about the amount of money after they had already verified the 56K. They verify it and they say, no, that didn't happen that way. Again, they said he was a liar with it. So he went from, and then while they're doing it, Marla, by the way, is now the person that they're making do their tech stuff. Have you heard that too? Oh my God, this is how far it's fallen. Apparently they don't have anybody to watch our shows and to collect clips anymore. So now they have to have Marla do it. Oh my God. You know what's funny too is these folks, they noted that Kyle was actually in the chat too. Yeah, Kyle was in the chat and he said, he's in my chat and said straight. Yeah, he's the one who noted the amount, which they say is now a lie. Dude's a liar. What a bunch of morons there. Sponsor wise too. They talk a lot of, again, first they said that the stuff that we sold was that our sponsors have were God, what did they say before? They said it was something I can't remember, and it would make your pee-wee fall off, which after 3 days, it was like, well, that didn't happen. So now it's just expensive coffee creamers. It is absolutely not a coffee creamer, by the way. You can use it in coffee if you want to, or tea or whatever, but it's definitely not a coffee creamer. It's a lot more than that. It's crazy. So is every supplement, because I take a bunch of supplements now, and I tell you, like the problems that I have, I don't know. I never got an answer from 3 specialists about what happened. But what I did get is I got results from taking the stuff that I have, putting together a list of items, a list of different supplements, putting together, finding the specific vitamins that I took. That's what helped me, not the people so if you want to just say that none of that stuff is real, well, there are people out there that they deny that you should get your children shots and stuff. But you know what? It's not good. It's not smart. So, I mean, they can write that off too. Gotta save them breadsticks. They're gonna get you. Whatnot too. Look, you gotta hold Whatnot. But then Marla, she's the one, she's clipping. Why? Well, because she's been around forever. She's the one that's going in and getting everything. This is an idiot too. Noncha's like, you can't use other people's stuff without express permission. Actually, you can. It's called fair use, idiot. You absolutely can. You can use clips from shows. Have you ever looked around YouTube? Have you ever watched all of the people talking about how they'll talk about subjects and they'll use videos and more that say a star is put together? Do you think that person consents to you talking about their stupid blunders, or the companies that happens to? Do you think they consent to that? Absolutely not. But there are rules called fair use. And I realize that these people, they have gotten accustomed to false flagging and taking down things through YouTube. But that's because you have a broken system. The same broken system that currently is flagging all types of people. And they're mad because remember when they told us that they had a connection with Rumble and they were going to take down all of the video and Megan Fox should watch out? You remember all that talk? What happened to that? Because I seem to remember them saying a lot about how they were going to, again, take us all down and, do all of this stuff because they had connections, It's weird how that worked out, isn't it? But, oh man. I mean, look at stupid here. God, some of this. And by the way, Mark, thank you for putting there. But yeah, look, Marla is now the person that's that's collecting for them, because their mods used to do it for them. You had whomever is there, like Stacy Nat was one that talked about. 2L used to get them to go in, and they had to watch our shows. They were supposed to come in and watch our shows. And now that she's turned on Stacy, her telling of it is kind of funny, because Stacy Nat.
Oh my God.
I heard you coming, kiddo. I heard you.
I maybe almost slipped down the stairs once.
I know. You have to be careful with that. Hug. You're going to give me a hug, right? All right.
What's up, everyone?
Yep. Go. You crazy. Yo.
How long do you have left of your ice cream?
Say what now?
How long do you have left of your ice cream?
I've got about 30 minutes.
There you go, tuck.
Yes, I'm going to come tuck you in, and we'll talk about like what we might do tomorrow too, depending on how everybody is. Maybe we'll go somewhere tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, take that. Hey, don't use that around here. Take it upstairs. She's got a slap, like one of those sticky hand slap things.
They got them at $5.
Yeah, we got it at $5 below. Well, it's like I think it's $1.
It's $1.
But, yeah, but hey, take that upstairs. Don't swing it around down here. You'll break something with that.
Okay.
And if you swing it around upstairs, don't hit your TV or anything with it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Love you. She's been picking up paper and stuff with it, but kids are just swinging those things around. I'm like, don't break something with it. She's good about that, but I still tell her. I know. But it is funny. Here, give me a second. There we go. And then woke up. There it goes. But yeah, having Marla as your tech person, that's a pretty bad place, don't you think? I don't think Marla would ever be my tech person. I think that's hilarious, Man, freaking. So what they were saying, though, is what I was talking about is Stacy was told to go and clip all of our shows. She talked about this recently. Okay. And I was talking about the interview that I had with Lynette Preston, where she was trying to put, again, 2L in jail. So Stacy told her, hey, this is not good. Maybe you need to listen to what's going on here. This is some bad stuff. And, again, this is something that she told them to go do. And she reacted to them in such a negative and volatile way that they're like, whoa. They're like, this isn't about me. It's about you. And, again, Lynette is turning on, well, just collect information for me. I don't want to hear your opinions, and I don't want to be shown anything. Can you imagine that? Do free labor for me. Do all this stuff for me. It's wild. What's really wild too is she's gone after them yet again, started talking shit about them yet again, and they may actually get motivated to stop because they've been talking about more and more stuff. But you got donor attacks. I mean, again, more people giving money that are being attacked for it. This is money that is meant for other people. And when somebody questions it, the same thing that has happened happens again. How many people have not gotten money that is meant for them? And again, many of the people that have given money are people that apparently they can afford to lose money. And like I said, more power to them. I'm proud for them. If you get to a point in life where you have mastered something, I begrudge some of these folks. that go, because they blindly listen. If you look at court documents and you think, hey, something's garbage or it's wrong, whatever, man, whatever. If you don't like somebody, you don't have to like anybody, you know. But man, the ignorance over fucking protective orders is amazing. You know, that affects a lot of people. It doesn't just affect, say, a Jeremy Hales. It affects all types of victims. And police not doing what they're supposed to do with protective orders is a very bad issue. And it happens quite a bit. And in this, you know, again, a protective order, we're told protective orders don't matter unless you have circumstances that actually are, I would say, more extreme in what's happened in Levy County. And the protective order there, they didn't care about it. But when they talk about a neighbor there, again, when we're talking about the stuff that's come up with that, they publicized everything that came up with it. So we actually have some of the items that, well, they talk about a situation where, again, they try to monetize this person. So we can check it out too. But anyway, I'm going to end here. I'm going to go through super chats. Let's do, man, Jaguar kicked it off with 10 giftos, by the way. That's a big one. Thank you for that too. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that quite a bit. Thank you, man. I love seeing people get those, you know. I am going to have to set up something for dead air moments, by the way, you know, where I have to get up for a minute instead of leaving it for dead air. I'm going to have to. Thank you for those 10 giftos, man. That is an awesome way to kick off. Max, thank you for the super chat there. Appreciate that. You know, hopefully, again, with Max Lab, like I said, I know you've been having issues with YouTube and their mess. You just got to keep at them. That's the one thing that is happening. One of the things we've been doing too is, like, through Twitter, I've been making more and more noise. You know, some of these bigger channels, they're getting reviewed, but what you're noticing too is that smaller ones are also starting here and there to get reviewed. Ones that have been begging for somebody to notice. So we got to keep that noise up too. Thank you, man. Fallen Hero. Hey, what's up, Fallen Hero? Always good to see you. You love you, buddy. You know, you are such a constant. I appreciate you. I really do. Anya BEGS Wax, thank you for the gifted membership there. I love your name, always have. Thank you for that. And thank you for having an entertaining name too. But said, thanks for the 2 there. I am entertained. That's right. Are you not entertained? I love it. Adair, thank you. I saw your message, Adair, but for some reason, when I wrote back, I guess it was the area I was in today, it kept coming back as undeliverable. So it was probably my area that I was in. So I did try to write you back about that. The code does work. It's just, I don't know. I can generate another code if you're having issues. Actually, you know what, Adair? I've got a fix for that. If you've joined already, anybody who has had a problem with joining and they can't get the freaking code to work for themselves, write me with your name, and I will go in and I will manually set it where you can communicate there. Okay. I will make it work. You know, I'll make a month thing come through myself. So you just write me and I'll do it myself. But I need your local's name and your @ So I need both of them. But anybody that's ever, any of you, if you sign up, you can sign up for a free account period. And if you've signed up for a free account, but you couldn't get the code thing to work, just write me. Like I said, give me your name there and give me your @ and I'll fix it. I'll put it in manually. So I'll just sit down with every one of them and I'll put them all in manually, you know, that way. And then I'll make a how to for later on. All right. But I'll fix it. I wonder if when you used cooked, did you try it in all caps? I don't know if caps have anything to do with it. I put it in as all caps, and I wonder if that has a thing. See if it works with all caps too. All right. But write me over it regardless. If you have any more problems, try the caps. I'm just curious if it'll work. And then I liked this though for JC. Thanks for the 2. Yes, I will only accept service if delivered by Loofamobile. I'd like to go interview some people all throughout the villages and stuff and see what they think when you read them the Loofamobile listing. See exactly what they think that thing is. That would be a very interesting, like, again, if you read through, we'll go over all of that, I think, with locals. We'll get, such a gross subject. Patrick, thanks for the 2. Yes, Doug, I am entertained. Thank you. I'm glad you're entertained too. I'm entertained. I've been entertained for a while now too. Stacy, thanks for the 50 there. That's crazy there. I don't chat much, but appreciate your videos. Well, you know what? I appreciate you. And I get it. There are people out there that just you lurk essentially. You're there, you listen, and that's all you have to do. We have been trying different ways to ensure that the show goes on no matter what. We've been trying, like with Rumble, they don't do ads like here. You have embedded ads. They do ad reads, so that's why we did those. We found a sponsor to try to help out with stuff, and we're trying to manage. And you folks, that when you're here every time when you're coming to shows, you are very appreciated. You don't have to speak or do anything. You're just here and you matter. So thank you. And Hazel Monte Engel. I love it. I love that your name is, some names, they don't flow together like that. But I've talked about this before, but every time I just have this need to say it all. It feels like some compulsive need. I love it. I love it. I love it. You've picked out the crazy flow of that. And thank you for the 5 giftos too. That is amazing and appreciated. Man, I can't believe it's almost my birthday. Oh, Dave, thanks for the 5. Has LMNOP ever turned over any documents or discovery in any court case? Well, they did. They turned over a finite amount of stuff for Fed 1. Not a lot, let's just say. For the protector, I don't remember if, as far as requests for, they turned over a few. Remember when they had the depot? Remember they asked her for a couple of odds and ends, like to send them over. She did send over a very, very limited amount of stuff. So has she ever turned over anything? Yes. But what has she turned over? Well, there's a lot. And they've deleted all types of stuff too. One of the things that can be used against you is the deletion of not just posts, but they've removed accounts. They've removed entire posting boards. It's wild. I wonder if I could sue somebody for saying that I could get $2,000 for providing evidence of something. And I do provide evidence. Can I sue them? Small claims court for my $2,000? That's a good question too. Paul, thanks for the 2 there. You need to make emergency bathroom break videos. Indeed. Actually, so far, I've the only time I've ever had to take an emergency bathroom break is when Megan has been on. I've had to do that twice. For like today, I had to go run and get supplements. They'd work for the same thing though. But yeah, I think I've only ever had that. Like I had to go check and see what the heck the kids, I'll hear them doing stuff and I'm like, what in the world? And some of the stuff I see and some of the stuff they do is hilarious. But yeah, I need to do something in that for sure. You're right. Righty chick, 22 months. That's amazing. Happy 22 months, Doug. Wow. Sorry for being MIA. Hey, you know what? You don't have to, when you're again, people pop in, they pop out. I don't want anybody to get lost in the case. Like, if you miss pieces, Megan and I were talking about it. We need to do, I feel like we need to do monthly catch up things. We need to take notes of what's happened and do or maybe even a bi-monthly catch up, because there is so much stuff that happens every month with this madness. But sorry for being I'm in the middle of writing a book. Hey, that's great. Broke one with a new series. I still lurk. LOL. Much love to you and the girls. Hey, I get that too. We've been working on a kids book. We've been fleshing out. And by the way, the first offs, as far as it, looked fabulous. But yes, myself and Dead Punk, we are working on let's just say a mystery meal out there. But I think it'll be good. It'll be fun. Andre, thanks for the 2. Is Fleesa trying to fleece the bankruptcy court? I did like that. I thought that was funny. Indeed. Indeed. Polar Smart, thanks for the 2. That was nose spray ASMR. We could hear that. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you could. That was horrifying, too. That stuff is, it is of the devil, I'm telling you. That, the regular, like the spray stuff, that is, it's controlled. But that other stuff, man, oh, Lord God, that is rough. It's like, like I said, it's of the devil. As if thanks to the pop. In bankruptcy, don't they tend to pay the corporate entities first and the individuals last? And what they'll do in getting it, what they'll do is they'll put up property or whatever for sale, and then I think they divvy up, seeing what's owned, this or that. And her problem though is going to be that again, somewhere like the stuff that she's trying to write off for Jeremy, for example. Good luck. Again, you cannot write off something that's done with malice. So good luck with that. We'll see how it goes, though, right? We'll see what they manage. Mom, thanks for a year, baby. Heck yeah, 1 year. Amazing. That is awesome. And it is very appreciated. This has been a crazy, crazy tale. This ain't going to stop anytime soon. That's the wild thing. I'll see Wombat, 21 months, baby. That's awesome. It was my birthday yesterday. My May baby as well. That's great. The first there for some unknown reason. And line for super stickers. That's weird. Hey, I'll see, by the way. Let me make sure. I think super stickers should be functioning fine, but let me check it. Let me make sure. When I got demonetized, it turned off everything. So let me make sure that they don't. No, they're on. Everything's on and it's up. I figured I'd check it. Give me 1 minute here. It's funny. This platform too is like, hey, you can set up things and sponsors can see you here. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that for them. But yes, it's still set up. Look, I hope your day was great, first of all. I hope you had a fantastic birthday. But even more than that.
Happy birthday.
From all of us
to you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We love to have you here.
Happy birthday.
Here's to another year.
Awesome, man. I hope you did have a great one. And if it wasn't a great one for some reason, you get a do-over. You do. It's in the rule book now. For real, though, I hope it was a great one. Hope you were out having fun. So, William, thanks for the 5. Belitho noted that he knew Jeremy was suing down. Yes, he did. And there was no reason for that notation. That says that, again, outside, it has no bearing on this case whatsoever. In fact, I mean, again, if he's going to verse himself into the cases, why isn't he bringing up protective orders? Why did he bring up the multiple violation? Oh, because that doesn't work for his narrative. I mean, it's such a shitty thing. Again, it just, shows you who and what they are. It does. Oh, which Zelda game? I am playing Tears of the Kingdom right now. I'm so I'm over at the oh gosh, what is this? I'm trying to think of the temple that I'm at right now. I'm just goofing off though. I can't remember the name of it. The Lightning Temple. But I'm just playing around. I'm just stacking up stuff is what I'm doing. And I love the openness of this game. You know, there's just so much that you can do. So I goof off with it. I was playing Breath of the Wild for a bit, and then I decided I wanted to go and play Tears of the Kingdom. But I've been really slow. And I mean, I beat Tears of the Kingdom before. I just like this game. And I had an issue with, so I guess I'll note this anyway. I had a Switch 1, but during all the mess before, I'll say, rehab with a certain person, they actually broke my Switch, which hurt my insides. It hurt my heart. So I had to buy a new Switch, but I could not bring myself to buy a new one. So I bought a Switch 2, not for the games on it. I did get an upgrade on it, but I thought, man, well, you know, it won't be like a reminder. I hate having to rebuy something. You know, I hate having to do that. And I had to rebuy it because of, you know, of someone else. And one of the reasons that, I raised my kids solo. But I ended up, after buying it, I've noticed something that was beautiful in the positive on that. I noticed that the technology looks so good replaying games. You know, like the Switch 2 version, it plays so much better. It used to lag, but now it doesn't. So I like that. Adair, thanks for the 5. I was able to get the discount to work. I had to click on monthly. Do you have a discount for yearly? I haven't decided on how I want people to use it and see if you like it. And if you like it enough, then I will discount out some months or something, you know, because with part of it, you know, I would, one of the things that I'm trying, you know, again, we're trying to offer I want you to all to try it. See if you like it. If you like it, then we'll go from there. Okay. If you want to support it right off the bat, and some people have for sure, and that's appreciated too. Like I said, I make many videos and stuff like that over there, but I'll probably discount out to after this. See if you like it. I may do 1 more month off of it too. Anybody that's backed, they will already get another month too on top of it, but I may do 2 months for you all just to try it out, see it. And then if people want to pick up like a yearly or something, then I'll probably discount out 2 more months. So it'll be like, you know, that would essentially be like almost having 4 months for free. And then people can pick that up. I hear you coming. What's up?
What's up?
I hear you. Hey, let me finish up my super chats, baby. Okay.
How many do you have up?
I don't know, maybe 10, 11, 12, 30. 70. No, I think I've got about 5 or 6. Okay.
5, 6.
Yeah, but you gotta go upstairs. Okay. Yeah, give me a hug. Now let me finish. Okay.
Okay, and then you go take me and play.
Yes, I'm going to. But you're supposed to be. You're the way you're pinballing around. You're going to be running around tonight. So you need to go and lay down for a little bit and get that out of your system. You're supposed to be laying down anyway. Gosh, it's going to be a long night. Yep. Man. That GG sugar stuff got her. They're still running wild from yesterday. Lordy, I got her McDonald's too. Some is my fault. I got her some ice cream today too. I think that hits on there. But yeah, Adair, I'll like I said, I'll probably do another month on top of it, and then, you know, again, that will account for everybody, and then we'll all see what's what. Because like I said, I want I want a place where we can't be banned. If you like that idea and want to back it, then I'll go ahead and set up a code where if people want to pick up X amount of months for again, 2 months off, then that's fine. And I'll give you another month code later. Or just whatever. Like I said, I haven't thought of the logistics to it. I found some, I used to use local a lot. And when I got sick, it just dropped off because I could only maintain one thing. I was like, man, and luckily certain mods like Laura B just kept going, kept it trudging forward. And it was there, and at least it had something going on. And thank you, Laura. I will never forget some of you all that did stuff like that for the last year. But now it is time to make it work, and I love it. What's up, Clear as Mud? And thank you for asking, my friend. Clear as Mud, thank you for 41 months. Hello. Well, hello yourself. I hope you are doing fabulous, by the way. Love you. Appreciate you. AKA the cat lady thinks with it. I wonder what the homeowners association thinks. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I wonder what they think about, the eyesore of that, and like the peen factory and just all the drama, man. All these people. I'm not just talking about them. I'm talking about all of this period. Like, how many times have police been out? And these people are just a drama fucking factory. I would hate these people as my neighbors. I would hate these people. So Janice, thanks for the 10 there. I set up my locals account, used my Rumble account, didn't mess up. I wasn't asked for a code. No, you can set it up for free, but there's they limit, like, you can't chat function or you can do all of that stuff, but you can't chat or do anything. That is their pay feature. Again, with Rumble's small, so they don't have the resources to be like a Facebook itself. That'd be awesome if they could. But, we've seen so many of those Facebook competitors, or not just Facebook, but Twitter or any of that. Notice how many of them fail unless they have monster backing. Like Blue Sky is hanging on, but they're dwindling. Threads is stuck in the mud, but they have, those two. So Blue Sky was made by I can't think of his name, Jack, I can't think of his last name, but he was the guy that owned Twitter. So he decided to make Blue Sky. I don't like Blue Sky. Blue Sky bans too easy. Now, Twitter has some real new banning problems too, but Blue Sky just bans way too easy. Threads, I'm not maintaining 4 freaking things. But locals, I think, is good. But they have that limit there. But if you go in, there's a pay area. You have to switch it to monthly. And if you put in a code that just says cooked, 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 then it'll fire up a free month and you can do whatever. Just see if you like it. Enjoy it. What's up, Katie Rose? Thank you for the 3 months there. Appreciate you. And I always look forward to your show, Mr. Doug. Well, thank you. I love it. I appreciate you. I very much do. Mad Hatta thinks that I can only afford 1 membership. Should I drop here? But just decide what you want to do. If you want to back here, I mean, any place, you maximize where you want to be. Okay. If you want a membership here, that's cool. If you want to go over with locals, I mean, I like the interaction there. I like that we can do stuff there and have fun and goof off, but it's going to be free there. So if you want to back the channel here, that's fine. And right now, go and try out locals and see if you like it. Again, it's free for right now. And if we keep it, which I plan on keeping it, I want it to keep building. But what my hope is I've talked to all of there are specific, if I've forgotten any main person that posts evidence, hit me up. Because I really want you heavy evidence posters to be part of that. Because again, my main thing in that is to keep a log of this where it cannot disappear. And I'm not just talking about court records. Court records, they're easy enough to maintain, but it's all the other stuff, all that other proof. When it's lost, it's lost. So If you're one of the people that does a lot of that, then hit me up if I have not talked to you. I've talked to certain people because I want them to be there. Again, I don't care if you post everywhere and it's some other besides that, but if I can get people that do a lot of that, like again, the Allisons, the Marks, I watch They Don't Have To, the Melissas, if I can get those people under one roof where it cannot be deleted, then I think that's important. You know, we'll probably have to come up with some ideas on how to make it searchable more so we can find things, you know. So I don't know any of the, I haven't figured any of that out yet, but I'm trying to do something. You know, we've seen so much. But yeah, just hold here for right now. And again, if you go over there, you join for free anyway, but if you put in the code COOKED, COOKED, then you'll be able to do whatever. Do it for a month. See if I want to see people's response. Right now, we've gotten a lot of people moved over, but chatting is not going on yet. It's because we haven't gotten enough people accustomed to it, accustomed to what they can do there. You know, with groups, people don't chat that often either. You know, in some Facebook groups, but you get some, and that'd be good. Again, I want people to feel like that's their home and they can goof off. You're not going to get banned. You know, if something's really out of sorts and way off I do not want people. I do. Well, the one thing I don't want is there are certain people that I appreciate that do a lot, and I think they have not been appreciated, and they've been attacked by some folks. You know, I've seen a lot of petty squabble bullshit, and we don't need that. You know, there will be people you don't like. That's okay. But if they're gonna, you know, start shit and stuff, that ain't gonna happen. Okay, we'll lock that down because I want something where all of you can have fun. And remember, if you want to, there are plenty of idiots out there that you can go after too. I'm not talking to you specifically. I'm talking to anybody, you know, not to you. I'm just saying this on this too. There are plenty of people that we can laugh and make fun of because they're awful human beings. You know, people have falling outs here and there, but they're not going to bring their beefs into that. And I will remove people for that kind of stuff. That's the only, I don't want that. I want to be able to, you know, again, I want everybody to know that there's a place again that we can have discussions about things. We can even have some uncomfortable discussions. And when we hit that, well, we'll talk about that too. Hey, Polar Spark, thank you for the 2. Candy Fun, keep the wild going. Oh no. I'm glad I did not tell her that. I did tell her about she made some money, and I took her to Five Below today too. So candy money and stuff, it ended up getting spent from yesterday. Shane, thank you for the 4 months. Hello, Tug. Well, hello, my friend. I hope you are doing fabulous today, by the way. For me, I am I'm running through Dungeon Crawler Carl again. You know, I've had the series sitting around for a long time, and I've noticed it. I finally gave it a chance, and it's good. I really like it. For the last, it's funny, you know, I listen to audiobooks when I'm doing everything, if I'm really into it. And I noticed, like last month, I had like 76 hours of audiobook because everywhere I go, like walking, driving, I've been listening. But I like that series. It's so good. But I appreciate you, my friend. Let me see if I missed anybody else. I think I got everyone. Yep, I'm pretty sure I got everybody. All right. It should be people watch tonight, I believe. And I will see you tomorrow. Okay? Go check out Jay. Love to the guy. Go have fun. It is Friday, right? I keep forgetting what day it is. Yes, it is Friday. Go have fun. I'll see you.